Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Donanisha Steele, special educator, your host of the New Teacher edition, an edition of SPED Talks with Donna Steele. I did that 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. So if you check it out on YouTube, where this will be also be posted, you'll see those past episodes where I talked about everything and everything special education. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, but I feel like um, my experience definitely counts for something. So when you get the chance, go ahead and check it out. So without further ado, I will delve in to some of what I want to talk about today. So again, it will be 6 episodes and it will be focused on different areas. So I look at curriculum, I look at strategies and tips for routines, behavior, working with your colleagues, things like that. But today, this first episode, I think it is very pertinent. I can't stress this enough. Oftentimes, as teachers, especially new teachers, we're excited to get in the classroom. We're thinking about how we're going to decorate our space. We're thinking about all the cool little things that we're going to buy for our students. And we just can't wait to hit the ground running with those items and those ideas. But when you get in the classroom, you're going to find out it's not as easy as how you envisioned it or how you think you might want it to go. So I want you to bear that in mind going in. And so it's important that as you prepare for this new school year, that you also consider yourself and you also consider your own social emotional health, your own peace of mind, your own mindset. And so today I want to talk about mindset. I want to give you a few tips, a few strategies, a few suggestions as to how to take care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, you won't be of any use to anyone. Your students will pick it up, your colleagues will pick it up, the parents will pick it up. And before you know, you won't be as effective as you want to be. So I just want to give you this word of advice. Take care of you. Um, because while it's an exciting experience, it can be a daunting experience, especially when everything just kind of come at you at once, because especially for those very brand new teachers, remember this is not college, where you get to try a lot or you get to practice being a teacher. This is now you transitioning into your own space where you're in charge of all these little beings. The expectation is on you. It's no longer on the teacher that you're observing or partnering with. This is now you. So definitely you need to take care of yourself. You cannot be an effective teacher if your mind, body, and soul are not where they need to be. You will not be able to give fully of yourself. Okay, so I want to leave you with some tips aligned with that kind of thought. So my first tip would be to embrace what I like to call a growth mindset. You've probably heard of that term, which is just the belief that you can develop further than where you are. Um, you can get better at your craft. Don't go in thinking you know everything. Go in with that growth mindset because no one expects you to come in right off the bat and be an expert educator. Yeah, you might know a lot, but no one by any means expects you to come in and know everything. So give yourself grace. Be comfortable in the fact that you are here in that capacity, or you're there in that capacity as a teacher. And that should mean something. That's a big task. Teachers wear big shoes. So my first suggestion would definitely be embrace a growth mindset. Two, my next tip would be positive. Look at the glass. Go in looking at the glass half full, half full rather than half empty. It's easy for us to look at things through negative lens, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of it. So that's like the pot calling the kettle black. But I'm telling you, once you go in and you see things through a positive lens, and you see it as half full rather than half empty, you have already won half the battle. View challenges as It allows you to view your challenges as opportunities to learn from. And you want to go in with that kind of mindset. Students are not the only ones who face challenges. Teachers can definitely benefit just as much from an outlook that celebrates the process. So if you go in with that positive mindset, um, you're focusing so much more on the on the process rather than the results, and that counts for something. Remember, you're in your first year, and I'm going to say this throughout this video: give yourself grace. Give yourself grace going in. So be positive. My next tip would be value the process over the result. So it's piggybacking on the second one. Value the process over the result. Valuing the process over the result can be difficult, especially in a results driven environment, and that's what education is. In that space, it's so result oriented, it's so result driven. We're expected that students are going to meet their goals. We're expecting that teachers are going to teach and they're going to get the positive results that they're looking for. Yeah, it's nothing like that. Yeah, there are times when you do get the results that you want, but there are things that are outside of our controls. Like students coming to us not eating and having a bad day and not feeling like to do the work. That's sometimes outside of our control. So yes, we're carrying out the process, but we don't control every step of the process. Hence, the results might vary. So, value the process over the results. Um, Teachers who value that growth and long-term benefits are more likely to stay the course. Um, I think this is an important point where I could point out that 40% of teachers, first year teachers, or new teachers rather, we lose them within between 3 to 5 years. um, because of that. We don't look at the long term growth and the long term benefits, that we look at wanting these immediate growths. And so when we don't get it, people just shy away and, you know, throw in the towel a little bit early. So definitely value the process over the results. Don't beat yourself up about immediate results. That will only put additional stress on you. I guarantee you, if you stay the course and you put in the process over time, you're definitely going to see results in your students, in you becoming better at your craft, in your relationships, whether it be with your colleagues or whether it be with parents or whichever stakeholder. So yes, value the process over the results. Four, don't be a slave to one method or technique. Um, it's easy for us to get caught up in, you know, what's the trending technique, what's the trending strategy. And yes, school will definitely have those strategies and those techniques that they want you to use. But it's better to problem solve, you know, the same way you would any other time in your life. Problem solve. If this didn't work, then try something else. Try something else within reason with, you know, your administrators or whoever, you know, supervises you. I'm pretty sure that it's not a one size fits all mentality that they expect you to have. So, um, try other techniques, experiment with different teaching methods and learning strategies. Don't look at children as just blank slates that require the same thing. We're all different. So if something doesn't work with one student, try something else. And see with again within a good enough time span. I'm not saying, oh, you're gonna get rid of this strategy after trying it for 1 week. But after a while, in the same way, you know, when certain things doesn't work for your own personal life, you problem solve and you figure it out and you figure out that this isn't working. So you move on to something else because at the end of the day, you're trying to make your life easier and you're trying to maybe, you know, you're trying to get results even though we want you to value the process over the result, but at the end of the day, you don't want to feel like a complete failure, um, especially over time. If something doesn't work, don't stress about it, just change it. That has worked for me. um, this year I think I stressed about a lot of things rather than taking my own advice. um, and that can be very challenging on your mindset, my mindset. It was, in fact, very challenging in teaching. Again, there are usually options. So utilize those options. Teachers who embrace a growth mindset shouldn't be afraid to experiment. And remember, my first my first tip was to embrace you should embrace a growth mindset. So if you are embracing a growth mindset, we expect you to take risk. Don't be afraid to experiment. That brings me to my fourth point. Celebrate your growths and your wins. Um, while I do not encourage you to completely ignore your L's or your losses, do not spend time focusing on those that just, you know, don't just focus on those losses. You want to focus on the things that you do good. Those are what gonna keep you going. Those are what gonna let you know that you are better than you think. Focusing on the L's, trust me, will get you nowhere. So do not focus on that. um, do not focus on that. Acknowledge them and move on. Always celebrate yourself. Always, as this will reinforce the emphasis on effort and process. Celebrate the small wins. Um, it provides opportunities to share valuable learning, share those wins. So my fourth or fifth one would be celebrate your growth and your wins, no matter how small. You deserve it, so celebrate them. And my next tip would be communicate about your growth and failures. So celebrate it. That was the one before. Celebrate those growths and your win. And six, communicate about your growth and failures with those who understand. So find yourself a mentor. A lot of school districts assign mentors to their new teachers. For teachers who have already been in the system, feel free to go to a colleague who you think may know a little bit more than you do or may exude a little bit more confidence than you do. Someone you admire, somebody who you know is gonna tell you the truth because you need to hear the truth. But not in a way that's gonna put you down, a more encouraging type of way. So find a mentor or a colleague who can keep it real and offer a listening ear. I'm telling you, that listening ear goes a long way. Don't underestimate having someone who listens. Sometimes, as educators, you just want to vent, not necessarily get advice, but you just want to vent and you get it out, and then you go home and you sleep and you wake up and it's a new day and all of that's gone. But when you don't get it out, that's when you get stressed and frustrated and you carry that baggage around. You don't want to do that. So I encourage you, share your successes, share your failures among other teachers and even administrators. Believe it or not, they want you to succeed because when you succeed, the school succeed, and by virtue of that, they succeed. So find someone you trust, find someone you value their opinion, share it with them, share it with your administrator, because that also helps to establish a culture that values not only challenges but that growth mindset that I mentioned earlier. This will also free you of any negative feelings about yourself you continue to harbor. So this sixth one, con- communicate about your growth and your failures. Seven, reflection. This is important. Reflect on your days, good and bad. Have some time to reflect on it. Reflect on what went well, what didn't go so well. How could you have done something a little bit better? And some people do it differently. Some people um record their reflection, some people write it down, whatever works for you, but reflect. That's if you're to get better at your craft, you have to know what went well and what didn't, and you want to know how to fix what wasn't so well. You want to know how to do it, you want to know how to problem solve and make changes when necessary, and keep those things that went well in that little bag of yours with all your tricks. Um, yeah, so reflect on your days. And you notice reflection is coming right now, and I have around three more points to go. So this list is not in any particular order. Eight, the number eight, start each day new. Give yourself grace on anything negative that happened in the past. You want to give yourself grace. Keep it in the past. If it's negative, don't go harboring. And I think that piggybacked on several of the points that I mentioned before. But give yourself grace. Start each new day giving yourself grace. Okay? Give yourself grace. You deserve it. You're a teacher. You deserve grace upon grace. This is not an easy job. It's not an easy job. This is an important job that comes with challenges that if you're not in the field, you really don't know. So give yourself grace. Number nine, I want you to start to engaging in your self-care regimen. Find time to unwind after a long day. Find time to, so self-care. Take care of you through things that you like to do, whether it's going home, um, crossing your legs and putting it up on your sofa and watching a show, or watching something on TV that you enjoy, drinking a glass of wine, hanging with your family, going to the mall, retail therapy, that works for some people. Um, I don't know, whatever you enjoy that you consider self-care, taking care of you, doing something that you want to do, that is important. So find time for some unwinding, find time for some self-care within your day, even if it's 30 minutes. I wouldn't say less than 30 minutes. Find something that you value, that makes you happy in your safe space. Okay? And 10, my last point, no homework. And when I say no homework, I don't mean don't give the students homework. Don't give yourself homework. Don't give yourself homework. And when I say this, do not burden yourself with homework every single day of the week. If you must, as a first year teacher, especially, you probably will. I'm not going to lie to you. It gets a lot. And until you've built that portfolio, um, with your go-to lessons and with your go-to resources and things like that, because that's what you will be doing, building that portfolio where it gets easier to plan, where it gets easier to pull something out that's applicable to what your students are doing. It gets easier to do that with experience and with being in this profession a while. Or so yeah. So do not burden yourself with homework. Choose only one day to possibly work after school or take work home. Trust me, it will get done. Don't go home 4 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week, trying to grade papers, writing lessons. It will get done and it will be okay. It will be okay. So leave it at work if you must. Let it be one night, one afternoon, not the whole day, not your whole Saturday, not your whole weekend. Please, I'm begging you, for your sanity, you need to know where to draw the line. And thank me later. As a first year teacher, I did not do any of this that I'm telling you. I went home every year, every day. I had homework. I wasn't taking care of me. I was making sure I got met every deadline. I still meet every deadline right now. But I'm saying I took it in. Now I'm taking things in strides. Now I'm managing my time a little bit better. Now, yeah, it's easier after 18 years, obviously, because now I have that portfolio, that library of things that I can go to. I save everything. I organize everything so it makes my life easier. Um, but yeah, the homework, mm-mm, you, you will be burnt out before you know it. And with that, you won't be able to give yourself the gift of a second year and beyond, or a third year and beyond, because you're going to feel like a teacher who's been doing this for over 20 years. And I promise you, teacher over 20 years probably at 20 years isn't feeling like how you are within your first year, because the first year is definitely the hardest, but a lot of it is because, you know, we go in wanting to be so awesome. We go in wanting to become that expert teacher within a year. While it's important that you're great at your craft, it's not the end of the world if within that first year you aren't, or that second year, or that third year, because then you won't be able to give yourself the gift of multiple years in the profession. If that's what you want to do, you won't be able to do that because you would have felt burnt out and then the job isn't enjoyable anymore. So those are my tips for you, um, in order to survive, and have that positive mindset within your first year. Those are my tips and my strategies and just my suggestions. I might have missed some, but these were the ones that came to mind for me and what I would have wanted within my first year. So that's all for today. Until next week, Fridays at 2 p.m., new video drops Fridays at 2 p.m. On my YouTube channel, Sped Talks with Dr. Donna Steele. And this is the new teachers edition. So this is the first episode, 5 more to go. It's a summer edition. So after summer, that will wrap it up. But feel free to reach out to me if you would like a video on anything that you feel like you could benefit from. I have older videos, so definitely check those out. And until next time.